How are
Everybody,
you?
welcome in. Monday Night Besties. Back at it. Raw After Mania. Let's do it. Bring those
Yes.
thoughts in. Slamchats.com. Send them on in. Go there to donate and support. It's time to get into it. It's Raw After Mania, folks. Let us know what you thought.
Oh, it was such a big show. So many exciting things happening. Let's see who's in the chat. I saw people are already here. Hi, Omar's here.
What up, Omar?
Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam.
Hey.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think about that?
That all depends on how long of a break The Rock is taking, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going off into the sunset. We'll see how long that is. And hey, I'm all for it. I told you, look, I was more invested into Rock Cody more than Roman Cody. So I'm all for it, 100%. Sign me up.
This is true. It was so exciting. There's so many things to talk about from tonight, but we'll just jump into it. What was your favorite thing that happened tonight?
My favorite thing that happened. So I love being shocked, right? Like, a lot of WWE and wrestling today is very predictable, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, I was shocked, honestly, by the outcome of the main event. I did not think Jey Uso was coming out of that match. I'm reading social media, I'm scrolling, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, I didn't even feel like him and Jimmy were done. Like, I felt like they still had a little bit of unfinished business. So, like, I just wasn't expecting him to win. I really thought it was either Drew McIntyre or Ricochet. I thought it was going to be one of those two guys. I thought Drew McIntyre was going to get his revenge, get his rematch, since he technically, he had the title. So CM Punk comes out and screws him, which, wasn't really shocking, but Jey Uso coming out on top for me was very shocking. I love it, though. Love it. I'm Team Yeet all day, so I'm all for it. That was definitely my favorite part of the night.
Yes, I am very excited. That was an unexpected ending for me as well. But then when it happened, I was excited about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not mad at that. Main event, Jey Uso. Also, Jeff's in the house. Hi, Jeffrey.
What's up, Jeffrey?
Let's see. Yes, it was. It was insane. It was a wild one. Oh, Astrid's here. Hi, Astrid.
What up, Astrid? How's it going?
Oh, man. Astrid had such great WrestleMania coverage. She had so many podcasts. Like, honestly, I did one. I just did a post show with Astrid, and I was, you saw it. Oh, thanks for coming, bestie.
Of course. Always support my partner.
It was such a long day that I was like, whoa, these like real time like creator people who spend this much time on camera, like, oh girl, I could not. Oh, it was a long day. And then I went back to being a writer gremlin. So I think that's that's maybe the spot for me. This is a lot of doing my hair, you guys. I want a ponytail. I don't want to deal with this.
You did a great job.
There was the Raw After Mania, so much going on. There was a surprise appearance by John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally wrote a spoiler, which I'm not even someone who does that usually, but I was in my email and I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, no.
So then it opened I was on an email and then I went to the next email down and it was the select and I was like, oh no, what did I see? But so I was expecting John Cena. I do think they highly alluded to him being there. So it wasn't like a total shock, but it was a fun kind of a cameo. I think the Raw After Mania is probably a nice time for those types of cameos. What else? What did you think about John Cena popping around?
Yeah, so I as well. I didn't read the select article, but I seen a couple people tweet really like coded tweets that could only mean a couple things, right?
Right.
I don't remember who tweeted, but they said someone's going to live out a childhood dream or a boyhood dream or something like that. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp. I think he was the one who tweeted that.
I love that.
But it's like, all right, that's our truth, and that's John Cena. Like, I already, I seen that, and I'm like, all right, well, there's one cameo. I will say though, like being the NXT guy that I am, that was definitely big for me tonight. I love NXT too, and having Ilya Dragunov and Roxanne Perez, the two NXT men and women champion, like that's fire to me. Like I was kind of hoping for You know, maybe a Carmelo Hayes or something making their main roster debut, but they announced the draft. That's happening in a couple of weeks. So that was good enough for me, but love the NXT cameos. That was another thing that I love tonight. Another thing
that was also so exciting that they both got wins. It wasn't just that they were there. It was that
right.
they actually had competitive matches with people that I think are like well regarded too. It's not, Indy Hartwell is not a nobody. Shinsuke Nakamura is certainly not a nobody. So for both of them to come up and have those types of matches and get a little bit of time. I mean, they weren't super long, but they were, it was more than obligatory, right? It wasn't just a cameo. It was like a real match. So that's nice. Both of them made appearances, and they did confirm that Ilya Dragunov is going to be an entrant in the WWE draft. So that is 3 weeks away, which is wild. Just pro wrestling never stops. Like genuinely, there's not really like there's certainly not an off season, but there's definitely not a news off season. It keeps it moving. So the idea that there could be that much sort of new Triple H era draft shakeups is very exciting.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll see more of that over the next couple weeks, but that was announced tonight as well. Yeah, there was a very I will be honest, I got tearful several times through the weekend, but I managed to not ugly cry until tonight.
So I'm assuming Cody Rhodes finishing the story was one. What were some other moments that caused Amanda to shed or eyes to get just a little bit watery?
I got very excited to see Bianca, Naomi, and Jade's entrance.
Yes.
That meant a lot to me. And that just felt like this is so cool. Like this is really so much of what I love about the pageantry and the spectacle, but also just what it means for people watching at home, for girls watching at home. So that was one that got me in my feelings a little bit. Damian Priest cashing in, actually, interestingly, my like Peacock had some kind of glitching, which is probably apparent right now. Obviously, my internet's not doing so hot this week.
We can still hear you and it pops in. That's good.
So there you go. That's what matters. Close your eyes. I'm still talking normally. But so it kind of was pixelated. So it was the interaction with CM Punk and Drew. I could understand what was happening, but I wasn't watching it in a detailed way. But then when it kind of like came back from being quite pixelated was that Judgment Day face, like Judgment Day's coming out and CM Punk turns around. And it was very nice to be able to see the cash in and kind of what that meant and what that means for, I think, just both he and Rhea's careers. I try my best not to write articles or call too much attention to something that would ever get someone in trouble. But there was one that Rhea had retweeted where it was someone that had said that they just thought that like it was something to the effect of both she and Damian Priest had just like interesting call-ups that weren't necessarily executed well, was the gist of it. But that now both of them could be champion. And that was something that just seemed really cool to me. Like Damian Priest has come a long way and has had a very interesting rise. So even though it was crazy, that match, I would have been fine if Seth, it was like it didn't matter to me who won. And it was interesting that I'm not feeling as negative as I thought I would be if there was a cash-in. Usually cash-ins, I don't love them, especially on that type of a scenario. But I did think it was very exciting. But yeah, tonight they got me. I ugly cried for that Cody video package. Like genuinely sobbed, which was kind of, I was glad I didn't make any effort in getting ready for this podcast before I started writing, because honestly, the first 15 minutes of that show took me out. So that was good. That was probably the highlight for me, just because I do think it's difficult to capture the emotion of professional wrestling. And I think something like that's such a like finite, digestible bite of like, this is what this means to the people that it means a lot to. It's something that is not only cool for fans and cool for people who lived the story and kind of felt like we went along with it. I think it also is compelling for someone who's never seen any of this before. I mean, you can just watch that clip and kind of understand what that journey was like, or like get kind of the highlights of that. So yeah, it was definitely, that got me today for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, that first segment, you know, the only thing I didn't like about it was just too long. Like,
it was too long.
With the Rock coming out, like that literally, like I was looking at the time, like I kept checking my clock. I'm like, man, it's been like 40 minutes, bro, and we're still in this first segment. Like I know they said the first hour was commercial free, but
yeah,
we went about wrestling free, like first hour, and it's like I get what they're trying to do, but it's like, look, we could have did this in like 20-30 minutes. Like that video package was like 5 minutes max.
Yeah.
So like the rest of that, it was super awkward too. Like
it was awkward.
Rock, like, are you like weird? Like here,
it was weird.
Hold mine and I'll hold yours. Like pause. Like
it
what?
was weird.
Like,
okay,
really?
I enjoyed when the crowd chanted, "This is awkward," because it was indeed awkward.
It was super. Like I didn't know where he was. Like even Cody looked. That definitely couldn't have been in the script because Cody looked super confused too. He's like, okay, like it was just super weird. Like hold mine and I hold yours. Like all right, what is this?
I need The Rock to not necessarily just like take the time because he is The Rock. You know what I mean? Like I do think from a ratings perspective, it's possible that they have to hit certain beats where it's like, we want Dwayne on the screen at this quarter hour to this quarter hour. You know what I mean? Like I'm assuming somewhere back there's somebody who's watching numbers in that degree, but from like a viewer perspective, The Rock's whole interaction with him seemed incredibly weird and awkward. And I think that it's highly possible it will come back around. Like they could land this plane in the future, but I also think that it will, it probably won't land for people who aren't going to be watching closely from here to there.
Gotcha.
Right? Like the Raw After Mania feels like very much a time to capture people who got sucked in over the last couple of days. And so they want to see The Rock again. But I almost feel like some of that vitriol that we had seen in from The Rock towards Cody in the past was a little under the surface. Like it was still there. He was clearly not actually super happy for him. Like he was still very ominous and like final boss, scary Darth Vader vibe, right? Like that's the vibe he's going for. I think he's definitely executing it. It feels uncomfortable, and maybe that's why it felt awkward. Was that it's meant to be a scary, creepy boss guy who like just says weird. I mean, haven't we all kind of had a boss like that? Like in real life, you have someone in your workplace who's like
just super
weird, and then they just say weird stuff, and you're like, you know what I mean? You have to be Cody because it's someone you work with, so you have to be like,
fake laugh.
That's cool, but like it's all, but it's just not. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So that was awkward.
I love Cody's response to him though, when he said, "Yeah, you're right. You're my boss, and I'm your champion." That's my favorite part. It was a good damn one. Right.
Yes.
Love it. I am ready for this new era. Cody leading the way. He deserves it. It's about time. You know, all respect to Roman for his 1,300 days he was champ, but it's time to turn the page. And tonight is just a testament to it. Like there's so much more energy. There's more excitement. There's more freedom for the wrestlers. Like you can tell there's a lot more freedom with these people. Like, and you know, kind of just like recapping the weekend because it feels weird because it's been so like, I mean, literally 3 days in a row of straight wrestling. So like before it even gets to tonight, so many stories were finished, you know, or began over the weekend. And a part tonight that I enjoyed too, the first Raw After Mania with Sami Zayn as Intercontinental Champion too. I love that part. And he has a tag match with Chad Gable against Imperium. And then, he even messed with Chad Gable after the match and told him, hey, you know, I know what you want, and you know, mess with him a little bit, made him think it was something else. He's like, no, I got you. I know what you want, and gets him a title match. Like Triple H is cooking right now in all cylinders, like from Cody all the way down. WWE is winning right now, and there's so much to like about tonight. And that opening segment with Cody, that video package they put together. You know, I enjoyed the segment with The Rock for parts of it. I just felt like without the weirdness and cut about 15 minutes out of it, because about 15 minutes was the weirdness. Like, that's when it got weird. Like, it was cool for like the first 10, and then it was just like, all right, it's getting weird. So like if you cut that 15 and just made it a 30-minute promo, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to start Raw. But all in all, you know, a lot to like about tonight.
There was a lot to like about tonight. It was definitely Raw After Mania sometimes can be a little bit random. And so I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't just like random stuff for the sake of doing it. Something that happened that I think you might be excited about. There was a return vignette. He's not quite back yet, but
Not back yet.
he
The
shall
guy
be
that I thought,
returning.
would dethrone Gunther.
Yes.
How long was I saying that? Like, I don't even know how long I was
So
promoting.
long.
But Sheamus, if you missed it, Sheamus is coming back soon. If you're a fan of Sheamus, you'll be excited. More bangers after bangers after bangers coming your way. So big announcement there. Love it.
Very exciting. Here we go. MD.
Hey, what up, MD?
Is in the chat. Hello. Nice to see you, bestie.
Yeah. Keep the comments rolling in. We want to know what you thought of tonight as well. You know, Raw After Mania, like Amanda said, spot on. It can be a little weird. It can be random, but there was lots to like about tonight. And there were some moments I didn't like too. So send them all in. I know we'll get to that, but send those in to slamchats.com to donate. You know, we're here with you each and every Monday night. So we want to hear from you and know what you thought.
I also like it when there is like a war in the chat of like different like platforms.
Yeah.
Well, so far it's only YouTube represented. So if you are watching on Twitch, if you are watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, let us know what you think.
Right. Checking them
I
all.
just like to know it's working, to be honest. So that's nice. Help me out. Let me know. Can you see this? Facebook.com.
Is there was only
watching this on a toilet. Let me know.
I'm trying to count how many matches were tonight. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. There were 6 matches. Not a whole lot of matches tonight. Not a whole lot. A lot of promos. No, like, I don't know. I mean, sometimes, you know, it all depends on what you want. Obviously, there's those people out there, I want 3 hours of wrestling and nothing but wrestling. And then, like, you know, in the new day and age, I think you want a little bit of story in there. When you can't, if you enjoy a story, WWE is where you need to be, because it's where all the stories are happening. And a lot of it tonight, you know, Judgment Day. I love that segment. That was a great segment, introducing the Rhea and Damian Priest as the champions. Still waiting on Finn to get his. I think it's going to end up being Finn that's going to take the belt from Damian. I think that's where this ends up, but we'll see. We'll see. I think, you know, and you know, that leaves some room for Dom and JD. Obviously, they're continuing with the Judgment Day when we all thought they were ending Judgment Day. I mean, looks like they got more plans for them and dominating more in 2024.
Looks like that is definitely still the case. They had that funny segment that led into that R-Truth match. But they also had an interesting backstage bit where Rhea kind of sent Dom to go handle his beef with Andrade.
Yeah.
And he kind of walked away, and then she immediately got like, ooh. Liv Morgan held no prisoners, threw a chair right at Rhea's head. It honestly didn't look like she got her hands up. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the replay. I honestly don't usually like go back to watch moments unless I'm looking for something like that. And that was one that I was like, oh, I want to watch that back like a show, right? That seemed like a brutal one. So yeah, Liv Morgan just like really threw a chair at Rhea from kind of around the corner. And they had a little fracas for a minute, but then it was another one of those fun kind of new production shots where the camera was kind of in Rhea's face and Dom came back, and then Dom was like very like breaking the fourth wall, like looks dead in the camera, like on a reality show, and was like, get out of here, and knocked the camera. So the camera turns and then goes back and is like headed through the arena, through the crowd. It was fun that I think the cameraman maybe didn't know where the opening was, because you could hear somebody whistling at him. So it was like he went to the left and then had to go to the right. So those are just very fun. Like, this is real time. They're trying new things.
Yeah.
That was something that Triple H had talked about in that press conference last night. Yes, I covered both nights, the whole night through. So like my brain is, I know more about what Triple H said in the last 2 days than I know about what my children ate, frankly. So last night, I think his name is Lee Fitting, right? He's the new kind of production executive guy that they have back there. But they did mention that, or Triple H mentioned at least, that they were working on trying out new things. And that was kind of one of those new fun things from tonight. I enjoyed it. I like it when they recognize that the camera exists, because so often I think in pro wrestling, the characters, the wrestlers have an interesting relationship with the camera, because sometimes we're led to believe that they don't know it's there,
Right.
and we're kind of a fly on the wall. Sometimes they're addressing it directly. That's how they're communicating with their opponent or with the fan. So that was just kind of a fun moment. Was there any of those kind of like production details? Do you like that kind of stuff?
I do.
Not everybody cares, so it's not like
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah,
right.
I do 100%, especially being, the theater arts nerd that I am and just movie buff. Like, I have a filter on, but behind me, I'm too ashamed to show it because I get made fun of. But I literally, behind me in my office is like the most expanded VHS collection that anyone would be able to see. So
Oh,
like,
fun.
yeah, I am all for production. I love it 100%. It makes it more interesting. It gives
Yes.
you more of a behind the scenes feel of what is put into the product. And I don't think a lot of us understand. A lot of us get on social media and complain when things don't go well, and we're quick to talk trash when things aren't going right. But like, we're not there. We're not there doing the work like them. And it gives us a nice,
Yeah.
like, behind the scenes look. And the moment I really liked it was when the first time I noticed it was with Sami Zayn. When it followed him backstage. I think it was the whole Chad Gable thing.
Yeah.
With, getting ready for Gunther. That was my favorite. That reeled me in. I love it 100%.
It's been really fun. I think that I haven't seen anything that I thought, oh, I hope they don't do it again. I think one thing that they maybe discovered is more difficult to execute than they meant was at Royal Rumble. It looked like there was at least to me, it looked like on the side barricade there was like a track camera, because a couple of the entrances, the way, like the positioning of the camera seemed like it was like not fully on an RC car. Like, I'm sure it was something more sophisticated than that, but like the camera was zooming in a way that I don't think a person was physically manipulating it because of the space distance. So that was something that I haven't seen them do again. And I wonder if it was just more of a logistics issue. But WrestleMania had, for a couple of I think the title matches in particular, but I noticed it the most with particularly Cody, just the way they showed Cody before the match started, but also on Rhea and Becky's was the same camera thing. I think they did it on Seth and Drew too, but and I think Bailey and Io. So it might have been all the championship matches, to be fair. But when they were doing the introductions, that camera, I still can't figure out exactly what was different about that. If that was a super high resolution camera. I read a whole Verge article that said that they used some what was it, mirrorless cameras during WrestleMania, and that makes it a sort of a different look to the way that what we see appears differently. So they've been doing a lot of tricks. It's been fun. I feel like they're continuing that tonight. So that was something that was an exciting, like, that stuff's not going away. That's not like a build to WrestleMania piece. What else? What was your least best thing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to go with the Chelsea Green Jade match. Yeah, I don't really know what they were trying. I don't know what they were trying to do with that. Like, I know they're trying to build Jade up, but at the same time, like, Chelsea Green has to win a match. Like, Chelsea Green's like, I think she has gotten to the point where she's established this character so well that it's time for her to start getting some wins, because
Yeah.
she is becoming one of the most liked heels. Like, she is technically a heel, but like,
Right.
we love her. Like,
Yeah.
we do. but like at some point she has to get a win, like
That's very true.
on her own. She can't have Piper forever.
This is
So I
true.
was, I know what they're trying to do with Jade and build her up. And again, I know it's Raw After Mania, so there's going to be surprises. But again, she's not on Raw, so like, I mean, you could have gave if that was your plan, you could have gave me Nia Jax, because that match does nothing for Jade. Like, what did that match do for Jade? Nothing. Like,
Yeah,
it did absolutely nothing.
yeah.
And
If
it did
anything,
nothing
I
for
mean, it
Chelsea Green.
makes her look kind of scary, I guess. But yeah, there it wasn't. It doesn't really help either one particularly. I do think that every time we get to see someone on TV is like a win, in my opinion. So I think that maybe I'm too jaded, but I just get excited to see Chelsea. So I'm like, oh my God, Chelsea's here. Sorry, I'll stop having a cold someday. Yeah, that is true. From like a canon perspective, Jade could have easily beaten Chelsea. Like that should have sort of not been even a question.
Yeah.
And then also it's continually weird to me that I know she's like a fussy employee, but like Adam Pearce takes too much delight in trolling her. And like if you think about it from like a job perspective, like if I was at work and like my three bosses are like like, like that would be so bad. So yeah, okay, I can see where that would be your least best. I just
Yeah,
want
I mean, if I, and that's obviously, if you gotta give one, that would be my only blemish on tonight, and the match was actually supposed to happen earlier in the night.
yeah.
But the Rock segment is pushed it back a little bit. It was actually supposed to be earlier, so they were like, all right, we got to work things around now. So, and I think it was just the time too. I think, a lot of times with Raw being 3 hours, it's hard to really, schedule the matches out. And I just felt like the time frame of that match, like it's going into the last hour, and people are already trying to stay awake for a 3 hour show, right?
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock on a Monday, and then you give us a 10-second match,
Right.
maybe 10, and then you're right back to a commercial break, and then they went to another one. Like, I know they
Yeah.
had to catch up from the commercial free hour, but like for me, that was the only part. And then if I was to say anything else, it'll probably, like I said, the opening segment with The Rock and Cody just was too long.
Yeah.
I think they could have got their point across in 20, 30 minutes. Because basically all the point was here's our awesome champion. This is his story. We're setting up Rock Cody for the future. Rock's leaving. That doesn't take 45 minutes.
What do you think was in his hand?
See, I'm assuming it's something of his dad's.
Can I tell you the immediate thing that I thought it was? And then
What'd
it
you think?
kind of made the like
Let's all
it made
speculate what The Rock gave
what
Cody. I
was
want
the
to.
rock? What
Do we
like
have anything to give away? That'd be awesome. Like, if whoever has the best comment and best guess, maybe we'll ask the boss man. He's having a rough day though. I don't know if he's gonna be Dusty's Hall of Fame ring. It's definitely something along those lines, because it was something. It was definitely something, because Cody's face was like he was not happy.
I think that I don't know why I thought this, but when he popped around the press conference and he immediately had the gold on gold Rolex, that then he told the story about how Nick Khan and Bruce Pritchard and Triple H kind of like replaced it, and it's the same brand, it's the same model and things that Dusty had pawned to send he and his sister to acting school. For some reason, I thought immediately that it was like something that's going like there's no way The Rock could get the watch, but like could they get an old Rolex and they say it's the one, right? Like something that is meant to be traumatizing. Like I feel like it has to be something that's like I think it's something we already know about. MD's so funny sometimes. You derail me, I have to say. I can't even look at the like, sometimes I look over. If anything, the comments, you guys should just do it to trip me up because I look over and just get so distracted. I think it's something that we probably already know about. From a storytelling perspective, I don't think it's some like red herring weird thing that no one's ever heard of. I think it might actually have some connection to what we already know, or has been, whether or not it was on television, I don't know. It's like, but discussed in an interview, like somewhere in canon, I think it already exists. So
It's
whatever that
definitely
is.
something of his dad's because
Yeah.
right before that,
Yes.
remember he was reminding Cody, I really, I was a big fan of your dad.
Yes.
Right. I know a lot of people remember him talking about that. And then that's when he handed him something. He said, you don't even have to, you don't have to open your hand to tell me what that is. It's something from his dad. Don't know what. I like where you're thinking. I like where you're going. It's definitely something that Cody did not like. And we can speculate. I'm siding with you. I'm siding with you. I think that's a good place to start. The real watch, maybe.
I do think trying to at least like say it's the real watch. I just think it's something that already exists.
It might have actually been air, like Jeffrey said. It might have been air. Like it might have been nothing technically, but what it was supposed to be.
I think there was a physical item because Cody seemed to really want it in his pocket.
Yeah.
But I also think that it looked like it was a small jewelry bag. Like a small black, like, okay, this is my thinking. I thought it was like a small black jewelry bag, like a dust bag, which is what like cufflinks come in, or like earrings. Like I have a couple from my earrings, and that's the only reason I was like, oh, what's in there? A watch could fit in it, maybe. So that's a mystery. There is another mystery that's brewing that I think I don't know how like much, I guess it kind of was discussed on social media, right? So like there was a couple teases. I don't know what we call him. What are we gonna call Bo Dallas? I don't think his name is gonna be Bo Dallas. And I don't think it'll say Uncle Howdy either. That's at least my feeling. I don't think that his character will be necessarily something that it was already existing in,
I agree,
like a Bray Wyatt universe. I think it'll be something totally different. Equally creative and exceptional, but I don't think within that universe. So I don't know, but I guess we can still stick with Bo Dallas for now. But there was in the arena, I guess, before the taping began, there was, and I didn't pin down what the audio was. They said it was like ominous music. Like it was something that was very clearly done. It wasn't like a mistake. Like it was the way they used to kind of do the Jefferson Airplane, the way they would do White Rabbit. So it was similar. But the audio clip that I saw, at least that went in my article on WrestleTalk.com, was so short. I didn't get a grasp on whether or not it was like a popular song. So if you know in the chat, if you saw some more stuff about that.
I didn't see that.
And then Jeff, there was the glitch when Bronson Reed had his promo.
I did see that.
Yeah, where the bottom got staticky, and it definitely said hello there.
Hello.
So that was what do you think about when there's like mysteries? I love WWE mysteries. Like WWE mysteries, I think like live in the core of my heart. Like I enjoy a whodunit.
It makes, not only does it enhance the show, but it also, I mean, it creates excitement to you got to pay attention to every little detail. Like not only do you got to watch the match, you got to watch everything on the screen, the top, bottom, during the promos too, where it's easy to kind of block out, right? It's like somebody's just talking, doing a little promo, like, oh, I'm Bronson Reed, I won the Battle Royal, I'm gonna win the Fatal 4-Way. And like if it's easy to just all right, bathroom break, or kids are running around, kind of look away. And if you look away for a second, you miss the hidden message. You just like that. So like again, WWE doing this is why they're the main company. Like I hate to say it, but like little stuff like that, this is what makes this the best in sports entertainment, which I know they're trying to go away from that. I've seen that report. They're trying to go away from sports entertainment and go back to the pro wrestling. But I think this is what makes it special, and what makes it stand out is what you got to pay attention to every little detail.
Yeah. And it's not just what goes on in the ring. I feel like I don't know, like I know that my flavor of ice cream of professional wrestling is not for everyone. Like it is probably, if I had my way, ooh, be a whole different show, let me tell you. If I was the booker, no one would be watching that, I don't think. Like every wrestling fan would have a mutiny because it would just be like Seth Rollins fashion shows and insanity. But I think there is
By the way, he had the best look at WrestleMania, right? Night 2.
I mean, night 2 was great. Night 1 had me convinced that there was shenanigans afoot. Like night 1, I was like, why is half of that outfit in black and gold brocade? That's not right. Is he joining the bloodline? Like I was reading, I was reading way too much into it. And I don't know if that was, I think it was a hat that then he wore on his shoulder. I really liked both nights' looks. I thought his entrance was fun. I liked everyone's big entrance, actually. There wasn't any big entrance that I didn't. I'm a Brandy Rhodes stan. Like it is not a joke. Like it is.
I think I've heard you say that before.
It is an unironic love for Brandy Rhodes. Like this is not a joke. Like I'm not being funny. Like I'm being
it's real deal.
It's real. I'll buy the yoga pants. It's fine. It's great. I'm not gonna. Nobody wants me in their online yoga class, to be fair. But so nevertheless, I love Brandy. So seeing Brandy out there was really exciting. After the match, I got really excited too because -1 was there. -1 was in the ring. So I always get excited anytime little Brody Lee Jr. is anywhere. It was just there was a lot of heartwarming stuff going on. Yeah, exactly. Never forget.
That's right.
That's my favorite. Yeah, she can yell at Jade now in WWE. So it all comes full circle. All roads lead back to WWE, it seems.
Yeah, WWE is riding high. What a crazy weekend, Amanda. 201,000 all weekend they announced.
That is a wild number.
17, what they say, 17 straight sold out venues for the road to WrestleMania.
And they're like, I was trying to, my best friend she was like watching with her husband, and they watch very, very consistently, but they don't engage at all on social media. So she has like the most interesting perspective on things because there is no wrestling Twitter to her. There is no internet wrestling community. She is watching she's watching a TV show. It's not a whole world and a universe. And so she was like, that attendance doesn't seem very high. And I said, we're like, as in for each night of WrestleMania. And I was like, like our CenturyLink Field in Seattle like holds like 68,000 people or something. So they pretty much saw every Seahawks game. So to us, I think 68,000 people is like, oh, whoa. But I can't imagine there being two nights in a row of or I guess 4 nights essentially, right? Like in our city, if you had 2 nights in the outdoor stadium sold out, and then you're also selling out, like ours would be Climate Pledge, would be like the NBA setup arena. We don't have a team. I don't want to talk about it. Tragedies afoot in Seattle. But to have 2 nights in the outdoor stadium and 2 nights totally sold out in the next biggest stadium is like unreal. I can't actually imagine what it was like for people who live in Philadelphia to kind of have like 4 or 5 day WWE fan invasion. Like 200,000 people. That's a town's worth of people. That's a small country. I don't really have a good grasp of geography, but let me know in the chat. Does your town have more than 200,000 people? Because that's a whole lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah, we're pretty much riding high. My cousin caused an earthquake in Seattle. They couldn't sell out 4 nights in a row.
Your cousin? Are you Marshawn Lynch's cousin? Let me know in the chat.
I was going to say, is that Marshawn Lynch's cousin?
There's literally nothing that would make me more excited than to derail this conversation to talk about my love for Marshawn Lynch right now, because it is unreal. Huh? Wow.
Okay. Nice.
Wow. Nice. To this day, I will tell people that I'm only here so I don't get fined. To this day. That's here in town, people know, but if you say it to someone who's not from here, they're like, what are you talking about? And then also, you have to be about that action boss. And I am about that action boss. And what that means to me is that if there's like an injustice in the world, this is literally how I operate in life. And I don't know if this lands on people weird, and I've never actually asked. So maybe the chat can tell me. But I think being about that action boss, to me, if there is something that I know that has an injustice that has been done, if there's nothing that I can do about the injustice, I can give you like $20. I can give you a gift. I can give you something. Like, I can throw you a gift card. Like, I can figure out what I can do, because doesn't everybody just like, a little 20 spot at Panera has never hurt anyone.
Starbucks,
Target. I mean, it's okay to be about that action boss. And so that's what that means to me, is if there's any way I can support people $20 at a time, I like to be about that action boss. So no, I'm actually.
That's right.
Honestly, how that name came about is I needed a fake name when I was a Wrestle Talk moderator in the chat on the Wrestle Talk streams. And I just out loud, to be funny, said Mandy Savage because it rhymed with Randy Savage. And then I was like, and I typed it in. And then that like cascaded from there. So yes. Yeah, it's stuck. Okay. Well, what else do we have to say? What do you want to talk about? Is there anything we haven't covered?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of, we're still in the midst of wrapping up WrestleMania too. So I think it just all came full circle tonight. We finally get a few-day break. I think right now it's pretty much just finding out, we got Jey Uso, who's now lined up with Damian Priest. So we got that in the books. Sami Zayn is going to be facing Chad Gable next week on Monday. So we'll be talking about that next week. Maybe we'll have a new Intercontinental Champion on Monday Night Raw next week. We'll see. But just looking how things progress, and I think the next step, Amanda, as we kind of switch gears from WrestleMania, kind of let everything breathe, let everything sit. We're heading to the draft. We're looking to see who's changing shows, who's getting drafted. NXT. I know Ava, the general manager of NXT, was there tonight, so that's what I'm excited about. I know it's only a couple weeks away, so I think that's pretty much the next gear. We got a couple of number one contenders and the draft coming up, so we'll have it all covered right here on Monday Night Besties.
If you could steal right now, you get to take someone from SmackDown and you get to take someone from NXT for Raw that we get to talk about on Monday Night Besties. Who do you take?
Okay, well, NXT is Carmelo Hayes, like hands down. And then SmackDown, I really think the women's division needs a little bit of help. So I'm going to go. I don't even think she's going to be eligible, but I wanted Jade on Raw to begin with.
I mean, yeah, actually.
So give me Jade. Give me Jade and Carmelo Hayes on Monday Night Raw.
I want the whole family. The whole family. Tony D, Luca Crucifino, Adriana Rizzo. I want Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
Okay.
The whole family. And then I wonder from SmackDown. What's funny is I watch SmackDown. Like, I watch every show every week, and sometimes I forget, like, who's on SmackDown? I always love Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and in my mind, they're still on Raw. Like, I don't know why I never made that flip mentally. In my mind, Bobby Lashley's on Raw, so they can come on back.
I like that. I like that.
That'd be good.
It's fire.
Stacks looks like Pat Mahomes.
A little bit, he does. A little bit. I can see that.
I mean, you did just do that. It's okay. I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you for that. I mean, I won't, but I would say that I did. I think they might not stay together very long, guys. I don't think that's like... I think it'd be really cool to be a thing, but I'm not sure. Are there other... I guess... You've got Damage Control still floating about over there.
True. Yeah, for me, it was just... For SmackDown, and for me, it was a women's division. So, really, I would take anyone between Jade, Naomi.
Yeah. Maybe just bring them all. Just
Bianca could come back. I know she was Raw champion for a long time, but just pick one. The women's division needs some help on Raw, in my opinion. So, give me one of them. Give me one of the ones that are in the main event picture on SmackDown. There's so many over there that would be able to give some competition to Rhea. So that's where I would go.
That's very true. Okay, besties. We'll end with a pep talk. It's been a long weekend. Okay. This is a long one. But I think we've all learned a valuable lesson this weekend. And that lesson is very cliche. It's corny. It's cheesy. But I think we watched it play out. If you believe in yourself, besties, if you do the work, if you put in the effort, and you stand behind your dreams, no matter what, you stand on business about your greatness.
That's right.
You can truly achieve whatever the championship of your life looks like. Like, to me, being a champion is about being a good mom. Being a champion is about being a good daughter. It's about being a good community member. I mean, it's things are different for everyone. It doesn't have to be something that other people would aspire to. If it's important to you, it's important to us, bestie. And we want to support you. So come back next week. Tell us your dreams. Tell us what you're working on. I do actually think that WrestleMania to WrestleMania is a beautiful time to set goals. I think a lot of people get tripped up when they do New Year's resolutions. And then by April, like, things have already fallen apart. So let's call WrestleMania a holiday. It is a holiday for fans. Start today. Figure out, do that Cody thing. You make that list of what you want to see your life to be like. You want to feel what you want out of your day. You want to wake up in your most ideal self. What does that look like? And then have really targeted steps to see how you get there. We can do it. We can get there together, besties.
That's right.
And have a good week. Take good care, too. Drink some water, because you know what? I have not had anywhere near the correct amount of water this weekend, and I bet everyone watching didn't either. You know, we were WrestleMania-ing. We were not worried about hydration.
It was time to turn up.
Go drink your water. Mind your business. Come back next week,
and we'll be right here.
Yes, forever. I'll never forget. Drink water, or you may perish. Yes. Thank you.
Shout out Marshawn Lynch's cousin-in-law.
Yeah, shout out to Marshawn Lynch's cousin-in-law. We're going to have to talk about that mystery show that he was on Netflix. Oh, my God. There's so many things to talk about. Okay. All right. Well, come back next week for more talking about Marshawn Lynch and also Monday Night Raw.
That's right.
Thanks so much, besties. Have a good week. Take good care.